Welcome to Around the Wicket. I'm Neroli Meadows. A huge week, I was going to say, but let's be honest, couple of days in Perth. The Aussies lead the Ashes 1-0. Joining me now is Callum, Ferguson and Aaron Finch. Both of you are there to watch the heroics of Travis Head. My, oh my, that was something special.
It sure was. I think the way that the Test match went for the first day and a bit, it suggested that that was going to be a really difficult total to chase down. And as luck would have it, I guess, Travis Head walks out to open the batting in the absence of Usman Khawaja and just destroyed England within a session.
What stood out to you, Ferg?
Oh, look, to be honest, it was a demolition job, but I think it was set up by the first 5 to 10 overs of the innings. I thought Weatherald made the bowlers come to him, and Travie run a ball for the first 30 and then exploded. They both gave themselves a chance to get settled on the wicket and get a feel for the conditions, which the majority of players through the first 2 days didn't do. So they actually set that innings up really well. And once Travis Head gets motoring, there's no dragging him back. He just took full toll and made them pay the price for probably not sticking to a particular game plan to him particularly early.
The Aussie fans are in full voice. They want to see Travis Head opening the batting full time. That aggressive approach off the top, the psychological edge that he seems to have against big opposition. What do you think?
If this wasn't a pink ball Test match coming up at the Gabba, I would tend to agree and say, you know what, maybe it is time to throw him up there and you just launch into it from day one of a Test. But I just feel as though the fact that it is a pink ball Test, the impact that that brand new ball can have and the impact that Travis Head can have batting at number 5 when the pink ball does go a bit soft and the game can sort of, the wicket can flatten out. I like him at 5 still, just to be that real explosive player through the middle order.
In 9 innings as an opener, he averages 55.5. Remarkable numbers. Obviously, this was his first one on Aussie soil. Is it a matter of time, do you think, that he's opening full-time?
I think it is a matter of time. I think that obviously he would be the next person to get the opportunity to do that. And I said last week that I feel as though middle order spots are easier to fill than what they are at the top of the order, purely just for the fact that there's more players getting more runs in the middle order.
From an England perspective, it was interesting to hear Mark Wood, the England bowler, talking about just how unexpectedly that Travis Head played, according to them. Let's have a listen.
We bowled, like 30 overs, and it felt like it was over in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
It just seemed to the game was almost like in fast forward mode. It just seemed to just be like, I remember there was one point Stokes was bowling, I think he had a couple of 4s off him. I started at mid-on and he sort of whipped one off the top of the stumps for 4, like a pull shot. I'd moved across to mid-off and I'd been moved wide to stop that because he likes to open the face a little bit. He hit it between me and Rudy. So then I've moved even wider and then he hit it straight down the ground and you're like, this is like, the game was just going like that. It was just so bizarre, like it couldn't. Yeah. So I think when he first came out, I didn't expect it to be so like gung-ho, like so everything in fast forward. I expected it to nip around. I expected it to be difficult, especially going off the first innings. I thought, if we can hold our same stuff, then we've got a great chance here.
Fair to say that's irked you, Finchy.
I'm not sure what Mark Wood was expecting or England were expecting then. Travis Head's played the exact same way in the last 3 years. Almost every situation he walks out to bat and he takes them on. He puts so much pressure back on the opposition. So to expect him to come out just because he's opened the batting and just knock him around, that is really poor planning then.
I like it when Finchy fires.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's a really good point Finchy makes. Like, you've got to be so specific with your plans to Travis Head. If you just think you can roll in, hit the top of off and bowl one good bouncer every now and then, that's going to get the job done. Unfortunately, with Travis, he's shown for a long time, that's not going to work. You've got to be very specific. They didn't challenge his stumps enough early, and then they didn't go short with a particular plan for an extended period at any stage. They just bowled, and then he got on top, and they were on the run.
Well, Mike Wood said they expected the ball to zip around, but it's not zipping around when you're bowling bouncers or half volleys. What worked so well for England in the first innings was the fact that they just repeated ball after ball. Their bowlers were fresh. They come hard. There was just none of that in the second innings. And when a game is on the line in an Ashes series first Test, we know how important it is you've got to bring something better than that in the second innings.
I'll tell you what, you're bringing some elite content at the moment, Aaron Finch,
Yes,
serving it beautifully. It's only going to get tougher for England because Pat Cummins is on the comeback trail. He was bowling in the nets with the pink ball yesterday, which indicates he could be picked for Brisbane. But there are back-to-back-to-back tests when it comes to Adelaide, Melbourne, Sydney. Do you take a conservative approach, given that they won the first test, Australia?
Oh, look, I would personally, if I was selecting, just if there was any expert advice being given to them by the specialist that an extra week and a half would benefit him going into those last 3 test matches, I'd be taking that route.
I don't think so. I think Australia will stick to the plan regardless of whether he's... If he's 100% fit, he plays. If he's 95% fit, he doesn't play. I think that's the way that they'll go. They've been really consistent with how they've picked squads, how they've picked the 11, and for me, it's a long series. You don't want to rush it. But if he's 100% fit, he goes.
Don't go anywhere, because after this short break, we're going to be joined by former Aussie captain Michael Clarke. He's going to get stuck into the pond, should I say that? Or he's going to talk about England. Former Aussie captain Michael Clarke joins us now. Pup, great to have your company. I want to run through this. So the Aussies were missing their captain. They had a couple of debutants. 2 of their best 3 bowlers were not playing. The opener didn't come out in Usman Khawaja in either innings. Lyon was on one leg. They had a 200-plus run lead in very difficult conditions. All over in 2 days, Australia wins. When I put it like that, how big is this loss for England?
Well, you didn't miss, Nez, that's for sure. Hello to everybody. It's a big loss. There's no doubt about it. Again, I think, this was England's best chance to get off to a fly in Australian conditions. I said on this program last week or before the test match that the first test of an Ashes series is so important just to get that confidence and momentum in conditions that you're not accustomed to or that you don't play in, like your home ground. And they had the chance. It was there for them to win. They, I think their execution with the bat in the second innings was extremely poor. They didn't learn from the first innings. Their shot selection let them down. And then their bowling, particular Travis Head, I just don't understand. I think it's spoken about so many times about Perth and Brisbane. The length you bowl is so important. And they just got it wrong. They just went way too short. And then when they did go full, it was, and I heard the boys talk earlier, it was Rankar volleys. So, well, if they can win the series from here, it'll be one of the all-time great wins. I think it's that defining, that first test victory for Australia.
How big a mental blow is it, Finchy?
It might sound strange to say, but this is probably the one England side that I reckon it doesn't mean all that much to. They drink their own bathwater occasionally. So the reason I say that, they never allow any negativity inside the dressing room, and they just continually overly positive. So we've seen in the past that they've had some great 4th innings run chases. So overall, I think that this team is one, whether it's ignorance, whether it's arrogance or belligerence, whatever it might be, this is a side that can actually come back from it, and it mightn't be as fatal as what it has been in the past. Well,
on that very point then, Brendan McCullum has come out and said he wants them to have more conviction with that aggressive approach. I guess that's a little bit of what Finchie's talking about, and Stokes has said the same. What did you think about those comments from the England coach, Pup?
Well, I think when you look at the way Travis Head played, I think that's extreme intent. Looking to take the bowler on, put the bowler under pressure, get the ball anywhere near your area and swing hard. Like he didn't mix his words, Travis Head. If he went hard. So I can understand from that perspective, but it's how Travis Head scored his runs. That's the thing that I don't know if England are looking closely enough at. I get the whole play with intent and the Bazball style. I'm cool with that, but it's how you do that. I think they had to try and knock Australia off their length, get them to bowl either over pitch or drop short. Now, if you get short and wide in Perth, swing as hard as you want. But trying to drive balls on the up, I don't think it matters how your intent is. You're going to nick that ball. When there's sideways movement off the pitch, in Brisbane, in Perth, trying to drive on the up, you're in deep trouble. So Yeah, look, I'm all for back yourself and keep playing the way you play, but the best teams in the world adapt to conditions. They adapt to the team they're playing against and they adapt to conditions. And I don't think England, with the bats particularly, did that in the first Test match well enough.
Fergie, I sort of look at the analogy of you can be the most upbeat person in the room and everyone's favourite person to hang around with. But if you're at a funeral, it's not appropriate to laugh all the time.
No, that's right.
You need to pick your occasions. Is that what you think? And their lack of willingness to want to adjust.
Yeah, I think that's 100% right. If you look at the way Travis Head batted in his first 30 balls of that innings, I think he played with a really straight bat or horizontal, and he wasn't caught in between with the 45-degree angle bat, which we saw a lot of England batters get out driving or playing a missing to in that first innings and in the second innings. So he took all the risk out of the play. He's played a lot in Perth. He's well prepared and knows how to play those conditions, and he stuck to a game plan. And I think that was why he was so successful. As Michael said, England need to go to school on how he scored his runs, not necessarily that he was just swinging and going hard. There was a method to the madness.
When it comes to the tour match, they've decided to not have any of the playing 11 play against the PM's 11 with that pink ball. What do you think about this decision not to send anyone to Canberra from the playing 11? They've sent 3 squad members, Pup.
I'm super surprised. Again, they're doing it their way, which is fine. As long as you live by the sword, you die by the sword. But the teams that I played in, and certainly captain, if we missed out with the bat, particularly the batters, I think bowlers, you care and you got to watch workloads and they can get things, I guess, a little bit more control at training. Batting-wise, I reckon Australia's top 6 would have went and played the game. If we had that opportunity and we batted like England batted, say in the UK, I think our whole top 6 is going for a hit. And yeah, you got a field still, but to me, 30 net sessions or 40 in a game, I'm taking 40 in a game any day of the week.
Yeah, I think it's just the way that the world goes now, is that you sit down at the start of the series or in the planning and preparation for the series and you say, this is what we're going to do to try and win the Ashes. So we're going to take all the external noise out and we're going to stick 100%. And like Pup said, you live by the sword, you die by the sword. And when that happens, it might seem like you panic if you change that plan, but I think overall, there's so much time. Even if the England lines are there and you say, right, I don't want to field, but I want to go have a hit, you can go do that. It's a PM's game. It's not a Test match.
The other thing, Finchy, the game's over in 2 days, so your structure changes straight away. If the game goes 5 days or 4 days, and England make 250 with the bat or 280 with the bat and still lose, I think we can all understand that. But Test match over in 2 days, 2 poor batting performances. You go into the Gabba, which are very similar conditions against a pink ball. I just think you've got to make adjustments to your planning in that moment.
I think the fact that England really haven't been exposed to the pink ball as much, anywhere near as much as what the Australians have as well, would have been a great opportunity to try and get some exposure leading in.
Pup, when it comes to Brendan McCullum, the coach, Ben Stokes, the captain, are they under the pump in terms of their jobs this summer, do you think? I know we've only had 1 test, so let's just hold our horses a little bit, but you have experience of being the touring captain in an Ashes series.
Yeah, there's a lot of cricket to play out. I think that's the other thing. You look at day 1 of the Test match, Ben Stokes was the greatest captain on the planet if you read the media. Day 2, it's Bazball's dead. So I think we all just need to, take a step back. There's a lot of cricket to be played. Let's see what happens. And I'd imagine the Australian team would be thinking exactly that, even though I know this result's selling plenty of newspapers. I don't know how it works with coaches. I've never been in that position. From a captain's perspective, I think you do judge your performances and your own career, really, certainly as you get older, on World Cups and Ashes series. I think you see a lot of people retire or get dropped after those 2 events. I don't know what Stokes' plans are. I think he's a very good captain. I think tactically he might have got found out a little bit in the second innings against Travis Head. But, yeah, I don't think it needs to be that strong. But I think for Australia and England, Ashes series has always dictated careers. So if they were to lose 4-1 or 4-0 or 5-0 or something like that, I'd imagine there'd be a lot of people under pressure. And it'd be the same for Australia. If the shoe was on the other foot, 2015 Ashes, I retired after that series. I thought we were good enough to win. We got dusted. I'm the captain. Take accountability.
Just before we move on to Australia, Finchy, Zak Crawley, do you have any advice for him as the test opener at the table?
You don't have to hit every ball for four. You're allowed to leave it. And that's what was so disappointing, I think, about the way that England went about their innings is they're driving on the up at Perth. That you can invest half an hour, a session into your innings and then get rewarded later on. You don't need to be rewarded in the first 10 minutes of a test match. You can grind them down. There's 5 days.
Well, that was what we were always taught in Australia when you went over to Perth to play. It was give yourself an extra 20 minutes. And the Gabba with a pink ball will probably be pretty similar. So they've got to learn as quickly as possible here.
We don't go anywhere, Pup, because we're going to chat about Australia next. This is Around the Wicket. Welcome back to Around the Wicket. Callum Ferguson, Aaron Finch and Michael Clarke still with us. Let's be honest, it didn't go perfectly for the Aussies, but they got away with a win in the end. Let's look ahead slightly to Brisbane whilst reflecting as well. Pup, Usman Khawaja, if he's fit, do you think he'll play in Brisbane given those back spasms? And also, what did you make of that situation when he wasn't ready to bat in the first innings in Perth?
Yeah, I think he plays. I think if he's fit, they give him another chance. Bad back. I think a few days in Aussie will be sweet. He hasn't had this back problem that many times throughout his career, so I think he will be fit. I was super surprised actually he didn't open the batting in the first innings. Even though he tweaked his back, went off the field, I think there's obviously a mix-up off the field in regards to, time off and time required to be back out there to walk out and bat. So, again, even from Smitty's perspective as captain, I think if I was in that position, I'd been yelling to the 12th man to find out where my opening batter is. But in the second dig, his back was obviously so bad he couldn't open. So I think that was the right decision. If you can't do your job, then don't walk out there. And obviously worked out well for Travis Head and the boys. But no, I think he gets himself fully fit and he's ready to go for a home test match for him.
Well, in the first inning, Steve Smith was waving his arms frantically, trying to get the attention of anyone. He was asking, where's Usman Khawaja? What are we going to do? And I think it was just one of those cases, where that was when they were about 7 down, the English side, and then the last 3 wickets happened in 8 or so balls. So he's obviously getting some treatment at the time, and they've just been caught out by a burst of wickets. Obviously,
there's a lot of talk as well about the fact that he played golf the day before the test. Now, a lot of these guys play a lot of golf, and I guess it's one of those things that as long as it goes well, it's fine. But the moment it goes wrong, the optics are not great. Now, adding a little bit of fuel to that fire, Usman Khawaja, after the test, has come out with a golf Instagram post where, he's captioned it, "What a week, it had it all." Well, I dare say I add, it didn't have Usman Khawaja opening, so it didn't have it all. What did you think about this, Pup? Because the players seem to find it pretty funny. I'm not sure the public agrees.
I don't think Uz probably needed to post that. I get the taking the mickey and having a laugh, but yeah, I think from a fan's perspective, he's probably fortunate that Travis Head walks out and bats the way he bats and Australia wins. Put it that way. I think if the result was different, he might have been spoken about a lot more. But yeah, it's one of those things. Look, I don't see a problem playing golf or for a game. Boys have done it for 1,000 years. They'll keep doing it. You're still going to live your life. I remember not that long ago, Pat Cummins went to a concert and missed a game, and that, caused chaos in the media as well. I think we've got to be understanding that people have got a life, and playing golf is, he's not jumping out of a plane. So yeah, I don't know, but I get the fans are going, well, you probably don't need to post that. So I see both sides. It is what it is.
Another talking point, Nathan Lyon, should he play in Brisbane? Just the 2 overs in Perth. You think this is a no-brainer though, Pup?
Yeah, he's in for sure. He's in my 11 every test match. Unless it's an absolute raging green seamer, like even Perth, the first test, the wicket certainly didn't look that bad. I'm still picking a spinner in my team. I know he didn't have impact, but no, Lino's in for mine. And if Cummins and Hazelwood are not fit, not 100% fit, I'm going the same 11 for Australia. I'm not making any change.
100% agree with Pup there. The impact that Nathan Lyon has in that side is huge. And, I mean, we saw him not selected for the test in Jamaica, and that was another 2-day test match with a pink ball, and they were extreme conditions. The ball was going through the top, so Australia decided that they probably weren't going to use a spinner at all. So I can see from that point of view why it happened in Jamaica. At the Gabba, at 100%, it should not ever be talked about Nathan Lyon not being in an Australian 11.
Well, the other thing is he's got such a great record with the pink ball. He's got, what have I got here? 43 wickets at 25 and a half. I mean, that's an extraordinary record with the pink ball. If it does get flat, you're going to need Nathan Lyon. His ability to maintain pressure and take wickets with the pink ball, outstanding.
I love it when you come armed with statistics.
I was ready to go,
Callum Ferguson on the flight over. Mitchell Starc, we've spoken about Travis Head, but Mitchell Starc was the player of the match, career best figures in that first innings, finished with 10 for the match. Who better talk about it than two men that have captained him across all forms of the game. Pup, 35 years of age, missing his mates in Cummins and Hazelwood. How impressive was that performance in Perth?
As good as we've seen in his career. I think phenomenal. And I think, obviously, no Hazelwood coming, so he stands up as the strike bowler. But I think the changes he made, so it wasn't swinging that much for Starkey as well. And everyone knows he's got that big in-swing into the right-hander, rips your front pad off or gets you out bowled. He adjusted and adapted to conditions. He got the length right. He used angle across the right-hander. His speed was up. He was consistent. You know, long spells. I think that's as good a performance as I've seen from Starkey in any format. And again, it shows that extra responsibility. He put his hand up, and he deserves it. He's worked his backside off, Starkey. He's committed to Australian cricket and prioritised that. And even his body, he's come out and said how important Test cricket is for him. So couldn't be happier for him.
Terrifying prospect for England as well, given his record with the pink ball. No one has taken more test wickets with the pink ball.
81 wickets in 14 tests. It's a ridiculous stat, just what he brings to the table. And like Pup said, if before the test match you said Mitchell Starc will get 10 wickets this test, you go, geez, the new ball must have swung around corners and he's knocked over the top order. Yeah. I can't remember, maybe the ball just duck it in the second inning. I don't know, or Stokes. I mean, it was great bowling at a great length, and that's been the most impressive thing for me. Obviously, the wobble seam, the ball going across the right-hander, but the fact that he holds his length so well now. In the past, he was either, when it wasn't swinging, he was probably a fraction too full at times or a fraction short, but now his length is impeccable day after day.
I love it in a moment in somebody's career where almost a defining moment comes so late. You know, we talk about Glenn Maxwell at the Wicket. His best ever knock came late in his career. For Mitchell Starc, this was a really big moment, I feel like, to get the fans really on board and cheering for him with this performance in the Ashes.
Well, the whole country's been right around him on the back of it, but he's had a big couple of years now. He's looking as good at the bowling crease as we've seen for a long time, all through his career. His average speed was 141 in the second innings, so that's right up there and showing that he's able to maintain across 2 days, because you've got to remember, he had to back up again on day 2, so just a phenomenal effort.
England, they only bowled 32 overs in the first dig, though, Australia. And there wasn't many more in the second, was it? That was extraordinary.
And as we always say, he's given up the IPO along the way as well, millions and millions of dollars. What was better, just quickly, Finchy, his peach of a delivery to Stokes that had my dad up out of his seat cheering like I've never seen him before, or the caught and bowled in the second innings?
Oh, that's a beauty to Stokes. I think the caught and bowled, though, that was just what Australia needed at the time. They went in with England with a 40-run lead, Zak Crawley on a pair, and just got Australia up and about again, and that's exactly what they needed. Brilliant.
Just to wrap up this Aussie chat with you, Michael Clarke, Steve Smith, we'll wait and see whether he's captaining at the Gabba and whether Pat comes back. But you think there's a little bit of room for improvement from Smudge after Perth?
I thought it was very good. I think he used his bowlers well. They adapted in the second innings when Usman couldn't walk out to bat, so making quick decisions under pressure, I thought that was outstanding. The only thing when watching the test, I feel like we still probably went a little bit defensive when Harry Brook was out there with Smith, I think, when they first come to the crease. I was surprised with a couple of the tactics in regards to fielders out on the boundary, and not protection fielders, but taking a few catches out. But again, you know, they probably saw that particular partnership as being crucial to slow the scoring rate, and that would create pressure. So I can understand that side, but I guess that's the way the game's going as well. You know, we've all got to move with the times a little bit. Seeing guys on the boundaries a lot different to what you would have saw, 10, 20 years ago. So I think even sitting at home for some of us as fans, you just got to be able to adapt to That's what players are doing. That's what captains are doing.
Pup, I would assume that you would be similar in my thinking here. I'm not sure that I've ever seen somebody walk out to bat at the Wacker or at Perth Stadium or even Brisbane and there be a long off in place. That caught me by surprise. But you're thinking catches behind the wicket, potentially a third man or a deep backward point like on that gully line as a catching option. Long off, that threw me when I saw that. I was in the commentary box at the time and I thought, whoa, what am I missing here? Australia don't have a fielder on the ground.
Well, and especially because we saw a lot of their batters trying to hit that ball through extra cover or hard through long off, and that's what was bringing in the forms of dismissal. So, yeah, but mate, that's the other thing as well. Like I say, moving with the times. Maybe Smitty and the team's got a set plan to Harry Brook, particularly because it seems like he's the one. They're happy to say, you know what, let's just stop those boundaries and we'll create enough chances. But yeah, you're right, Finchy. Very different to my time, that's for sure.
Charging Mitchell Starc as well. We're seeing some different things in this Bazball era. Michael Clarke, thank you so much for your thoughts. We'll chat to you next week ahead of the Gabba test. Don't go anywhere because we're going to take on the short stuff next. Time to take on the short stuff. South Africa are on the verge of a famous victory in India, their first series win in 25 years. How significant is it?
It's always big to go to India and win a test series. They've played unbelievable cricket. Across the last couple of years, they've been as good as anyone. But this series in particular, they've beaten India at their own game. Transition
time for India, isn't it?
Oh, they're under all sorts of pressure if they lose this Test match and series. Look, the win's enormous for South Africa, but it's equally as enormous a loss it is for India. They're going to be under all sorts of pressure.
Bay 13 at the MCG is set to be taken over by the Barmy Army. How do we feel about this proud Victorian?
Couldn't care less. You're going to hear them anyway. Whether they're in Bay 7 or Bay 13 doesn't matter.
I hate it. It's got to be Australia only in there, surely.
Come on.
How impressive was Meg Lanning's ton for the Stars in the WBBL?
That was a seriously good knock. It made even better the fact that they rolled the sixes for 30-odd as well. For someone who's only playing domestic cricket or franchise cricket at the moment, she's getting better and better somehow.
Yellow collars in Test cricket.
Oh, yes.
New to this summer. I don't like them, Fergie. I'm getting involved. What do you think?
No, I'm okay with it. It's nice and understated, so it's not too loud and proud, but I like it.
Ferg, they were
I like
rubbish. Absolute rubbish collars.
Travis Head or Mitch Starc for player of the match?
Travis Head, bowlers dominated.
Yeah, Travis Head as well. I thought it was phenomenal.
Ooh, tough going. I thought Starkey.
It was
Thanks
close.
for joining us. See you next week.